Well, welcome back to Central Valley today. It's now time for our Medical Monday segment with board-certified medical doctor, Dr. Adam Rajul. Dr. Adam, so today we're talking about one of my personal favorites, mental health. Where do we even get started? I feel like there's so much.
It's your favorite too?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, the reason we're talking about mental health, I do a poll for those of you guys that follow me on Instagram. I try to see what you, the viewers, want me to talk about. I want to make sure I'm providing value. I want to make sure it's helping you. And mental health won by a landslide. It was like 80%.
Definitely.
So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes, so stress is very huge in today's society. How would you, as a doctor, recommend we manage our stress?
There's tons of things you can do to manage stress. So there's two really important things that we need to remember about stress. First, if you are at home and you suffer from stress, you are part of the norm. 50 to 80% of us are under chronic stress. Our bodies are made for acute stress, right? Like running from a bear or playing a sports event. But our bodies are not made to have chronic stress, where it's like repeated stress. But even so, over half of us have it.
Yeah.
The other important thing to remember about stress is that you are in control of your stress. Your boss is not in control. Your spouse is not in control. Environmental factors are not in control. You are, at the end of the day, in control of your stress. I think that's very important to remember because a lot of times people don't think they are in control, right? So there's tons of ways to reduce stress. I think number one, the most important way to reduce stress is your way of thinking, like having gratitude. Like you go through a breakup, well, you could find something better. You could say that for a job. Turn on the news, look at the Middle East. You think you're having a bad day, look what's happening in the Middle East.
Very true.
Go to a pediatric cancer center where there's kids dying from cancer. Volunteer at a soup kitchen, how many people are homeless. So I think when you look at those things, you realize, well, my life may not be going so great, but it could be a lot worse.
A lot worse.
And there are millions of people at home that have it worse than you. Guaranteed, millions of people have it worse than all of us. So yeah, I go through stress. I go through, things just like everybody else, but I always try to keep in mind that things could be worse. And gratitude. Gratitude is huge. They've done studies where just having gratitude rewires your brain. Like it affects the neuroplasticity in your brain. So it's been proven that having gratitude helps. So that's the first thing I do when I wake up. I have a little routine. I pray, I thank God for everything that I have, and I have that gratitude. And that alone just starts my day off in a much better way.
Definitely, when you just refocus that mind.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
They say power of mind. Power of mind is everything. It really is.
It really is. And what is mind-gut connection, and how does it relate to stress?
Yeah, so, when we talk about stress reduction, like I said, there's many ways to reduce stress, but, the things we eat is actually huge. So mind-gut connection, it's also another name you may hear it called is brain-gut access, same thing. You've heard of serotonin, the happy hormone?
Yeah.
So most of your antidepressive pills, which are SSRIs, that stands for selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, kind of a mouthful. It's not really increasing your serotonin, but it prevents the reuptake. So it's stopping like the breakdown of it. But if you're not making anything, then what are you eliminating? Like, what are you stopping the reuptake of, right?
Sure. Yeah.
The reason I'm talking about that, 90% of serotonin, and some sites are up to 95%, is made in your gut.
Wow.
And your gut bacteria is actually what's producing serotonin in your gut. So your happy hormone is essentially dictated by the foods you eat.
Oh.
So 90% of serotonin is in your gut, which is insane because we automatically think, oh, it's a happy hormone, it's in our brain. It's not in your brain. So, any foods that increase inflammation, your fried foods, your fatty foods, your preserved foods, terrible for your gut. What ends up happening, you get something called dysbiosis, where you are not properly having the gut bacteria producing these neurotransmitters, and then everything just kind of goes to, the garbage.
Yeah.
Can't swear, but I can say garbage, right?
You can say garbage.
So, yeah, food's important. So, like I said before, whole foods is the most important thing. Just eating whole foods, avoiding preserved foods. Fermented foods actually promote production of serotonin from the gut bacteria. So fermented foods are like, stuff like pickles, yogurt is really good as well. Sauerkraut. So those are just different types of food that may help with that. Other things you can do is getting sunlight. You know, sunlight therapy is used in seasonal affective disorder, which is a form of depression. So sunlight's huge, just getting enough sun.
Just go outside. That's it.
Going outside, right? Most of us are deficient in vitamin D, which, you know, even if you get sunlight, a lot of us are still low. So, you know, I always supplement with vitamin D3 with K2. Magnesium is another good one to supplement with because there's so many cofactors in your body that are dependent on magnesium. So if you take any supplements, you know, I would definitely take magnesium and then vitamin D3 with K2.
Perfect. And that's a good start for it.
Yeah, yeah. And then, you know, prayer is important. You don't believe in God, you don't want to pray, meditating, music.
All of that.
All of that helps. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you
so
Thank
much.
you.
We'll see you next Monday.
I will be here.
Good. Perfect.
Thank
Okay,
you
you guys, we'll be right back.